well, why don't I just give a little rundown of the coaster because you really can appreciate it from where we're standing right here. So this behind me is Mako, and we're excited about Mako. This is the tallest, fastest, and longest coaster in Orlando, and really you can appreciate a lot of it from where we're standing right here. So 200 feet tall is right up here, just off to your left, top of the lift. Excellent view, you know, and to give you some bearings on where we are, International Drive is right out here, just beyond the fence lines in the distance over here, and so and it's also positioned in a great adjacency to Kraken. So Kraken and Mako kind of play with each other a little bit. You can kind of see how close they come to each other. The first drop is fantastic. You get this great downward drop. You're looking straight down. Very exhilarating drop in airtime. You get a great little flat spot here, and this is where you really appreciate your maximum speed because you hit it right here at the bottom of the first drop. 73 miles an hour, right here. So tallest coaster in Orlando. Fastest coaster in Orlando right here. And then you can appreciate the extent of the ride. You know, it's almost a mile of track. So we're real excited about that. I mean, that is long. It's a long ride. You get a lot of ride duration on this ride. And you can see these elements. A lot of them look the same. They have this really great vertical curve. So that's very intentional that the curve is very, and what I mean by vertical curve, so you can think of, you know, horizontal is in a plane, vertical is sort of up and down. So these curves are very intentionally built to not have any lateral movements in them or to limit the lateral movements because you want the accelerations on the riders to be in a plane that is in an axis that's kind of in line with their spine and with their body. And that is what delivers the airtime. So you get these great, wonderful, parabolically shaped vertical curves, and as you crest the hill and as you float to the bottom is when you'll feel that great feeling of almost weightlessness. And so as the coaster comes around up to this first hill, actually this first hill is kind of unique. It's this really great overbank turn. It's a great turn, and you know, Mako's tallest coaster in Orlando over here, well, that point there, that's taller than Kraken and Manta. So this turn is still a great turn. It's really high, and you really can appreciate it when you're up there and you're looking back at the park. You see some really great parabolic shaped hills as it goes to this signature turnaround element. So hypercoasters, you know, they're known for speed and airtime. Some track features that they're known for are really great steep drops, and these airtime hills. They also typically have a really nice signature turnaround. So that is the turnaround. So think of it as kind of like the halfway point of the ride. And for Mako, we have this really great hammerhead turn. So it's a really quick, agile maneuver. So much like the Mako shark in the ocean. You know, the Mako shark is one of the fastest sharks in the ocean. It is like very powerful and very fast. And you'll feel that same sense of power and speed and agility as you wrap up into that turn and you almost whip out of it. So it's a really great maneuver. And then as you make your way back, this element right here that you see in front of us, this is one of my favorites actually. So it actually looks like a really low hill, like maybe, you know, like what's so special about that hill. But I like this hill because since it's a lower hill, it's delivering an airtime experience that is really strong because you're going much faster over this hill. So your time spent on here is very short because you were whipping right over this hill right here. But the airtime you feel is different from the airtime that you feel on these other hills. Because these hills, you have this really long duration of airtime where you're floating and you're floating and you're floating and you're floating, and then you kind of make your way down. On this hill here, you're floating quick. I mean, you hit that near weightless feeling onto the onsets very quickly, very strong, and it's really thrilling. It's really, really thrilling. And then the coaster makes its way back, and you can kind of see it goes through the block break, another airtime hill, and then it pops into the park where we were standing when we first got here. And it really does this really nice maneuver over the plaza, so the guests, the non-riders, they can still have a feeling of connection to the ride. So like if your family members are on the ride, you can see them because it really comes around the plaza really nice, and it circles around. It sort of banks so it faces the non-riders in the plaza, and then it makes its way back up into the station.
You're not enthusiastic about it?
Not at all. Not at all. Yeah, I mean these are kind of like, you know, you work on these projects and you do have a connection. So I've got my own connection. You know, we want our guests to have a connection to the experience. You know, we want to connect guests with nature and in these experiences that matter. And so you know, Mako will do that. And it is, you know, it's connecting people with the shark. And of course the shark is the apex predator, and the whole realm is based on the shark. And because the shark is kind of misunderstood as an animal, and it kind of gets a bad rap. And what we want people to know, and we've got all these great educational interpretives in our new Shark Reef Realm, that they can learn about the shark, the plight of the shark, you know, about shark finning, and all these. It's a rough world for the shark. So by connecting people with nature, much like I'm connected to these rides and get enthusiastic about them, we want people just to walk away with a better understanding.
What'd you say the first drop's like?
Oh, the first drop is exhilarating. As you crest the hill, you're just waiting for the track to stop bending back underneath you. So it's really thrilling. You are almost looking straight down as you come over that first hill. It's fantastic.
What were your thoughts as you're coming over that?
Oh, I'm like, here we go. I can't wait. I can't wait for the rest of the ride. I mean, it sets up the ride so perfectly as you know, the lift is very intentional. A lot of people think the lift, it's just there. It takes a while to get up the lift. The lift builds anticipation because you're like, are we there yet? And you kind of look over and you see Kraken. You pass Kraken. And then you're like, well, we have another 50 feet to go. Once we pass Kraken, you finally get to the top, and as you crest the hill, and you see the expanse of the rest of the track, and that you know you're going to do, it's very thrilling.
You're saying again how this ride mimics that of the Mako shark. How is that?
Yeah, so you know the Mako shark is one of the fastest sharks in the ocean, and it's so fast and has so much power and energy. It'll actually breach itself out of the water. So you can sort of picture that image in your mind of a shark breaching itself, much like these hills come up and down, and they're you know these hills are all about speed and airtime, and so the speed of the coaster, much like the speed of the Mako shark, lets the rider feel like they're connected to that really marvelous animal.
So you said it's the tallest and it's the fastest. It looks amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about like the anticipation and just the ride experience you had while on it?
Yes. So first of all, I'll walk you through the realm, because the realm is really fantastic. You know, we had sharks here before. We've had sharks for a very long time, and we still have sharks, and we had great bones in that realm to start with. And so what we've done with Mako the coaster and all the expansion that we've done in the village with the additional architecture, and we have some great retail, and you know we have this really great partnership with Guy Harvey, which is a great beautiful connection between Guy Harvey, what Guy Harvey does as a conservationist, and what we do at SeaWorld to connect people with nature. And so as you make your way to the station, you actually are navigating under the pier, and you're walking through, and you're feeling like you're coming upon this ship that has been wrecked as part of our Shark Reef Realm. And so you make your way up to the station, and the station's really beautiful. I don't know if you guys have been there yet, but it's coming together, and you can kind of appreciate it. Looks like a ship that's listed over on its side. And when you get up to the top level, there's a really cool ceiling that will have a great media experience, a great special effect. So the station even looks different than most stations. The gates have special character to them. The coaster is very different also. This coaster is a hyper coaster. So it only has a lap guard restraint. So maybe you saw that there. It doesn't have, like you saw on Kraken, the shoulder harness. The Mako has a guard that sits on the top of your leg, your femur here, and holds you into these great, really comfortable bucket seats. And what that does is it provides a great feeling of freedom on the ride. So the experience is amplified by this great restraint, because the coaster dynamics are really amazing, and you really feel this great feeling of speed and airtime. So as you leave the station, you know, you go straight up that lift. That's a very steep lift. It's something like 40 degrees or more, and so you really are laid back in your seat as you're going up there. So the intensity builds, the time you spend going up the lift, your anticipation, you start sweating and you start getting nervous and excited at the same time. And then it gets really quiet because the chain has stopped pulling you to the top, and you get this moment of peace at the top, and then the coaster slowly creeps over the crest of the crown of the lift, and then it goes, and you just drop down this really wonderful drop where you have this great feeling of falling and thrill and excitement at the same time. You hit your maximum speed right here behind me in this little flat portion of track before you jump right back up into this really great overbank turn that is taller than Kraken by itself. And so you get a great view looking back. And then you have these really, really wonderful, really finely tuned, engineered parabolic hills that maximize the feeling of airtime. And one thing you'll notice when you're back here is that, hey, there's a lot of water here, and this coaster is over, a lot of it's over water. Well, yeah, it is. It's supposed to be. That was very intentional that we wanted this coaster, and like over 50% of this ride is like over water. So it's great connection with water and connection with sharks and marine. And additionally, the color scheme of the track is very intentional. It's supposed to pick up on the hues and the colorations of the ocean. So you get these great, greenish teals and aquamarines and this really great purple, which I really like. I like how the track, you can see this ribbon of purple. Even when you're outside the park and you're looking back, the contrast between that purple and that darker indigo color is a great pop, and it reminds you of the coaster and what the coaster is, and it's all about Mako. You have the turnaround element at the far end. You whip around that turnaround element. That's a great, more positive G experience as you make that turn, and you make your way back to the station, back to the plaza area. So, Mako is all about airtime. So it's very relentless airtime. So it delivers. And it delivers, and it keeps delivering this great airtime feeling, which is all about speed and height and acceleration.
So is it meeting your expectations as far as the fast and the airtime? Is it meeting your expectations, or is it blowing them out of the water?
No, it really blows them away. We talk about the numbers, 200 feet tall and 73 miles an hour and 4,760 feet of track, which is like almost a mile. And really, when it all comes down to it, it's all about that ride experience. So those stats are great, but the ride experience is so perfect on this ride that it really incites thrill, and you'll be blown away by the ride experience.
Can you talk about the bigger picture of this coaster as SeaWorld transitions away from whales and whatnot to become more competitive in the theme park industry? How important it is to have this to the guest experience?
Yeah. At SeaWorld, we're diverse in the experience we offer. We feel like what we offer at SeaWorld is unique and is special. And so, rides or coasters or animal experiences, we were always weaving our attractions through these loops. So you think of Antarctica, that was our last major attraction at this park, which is over in the Penguin area, and we combined a ride experience with an animal viewing experience with the penguins and the dark ride that went right before you walked into the freezing environment of Antarctica. And so Mako is a different bent on how we lean our attraction. So Mako is intended to connect our guests with the shark. So the plight of the shark is really tough. I mean, the sharks have it tough, and so what we're doing in the park is creating these great educational moments. So this is all SeaWorld. This is what we do, and Mako is really no exception. So it's not a departure for anything. If anything, it's right in line with the same types of attractions that this park has grown into, especially over the last 15 to 20 years.
How tough is it to be competitive with these other parks around here and there?
Oh, Orlando has got to be one of the most competitive theme park markets in the world. We're very fortunate at SeaWorld that our story and what we do, the work we do, connected people with the natural world, with these experiences that really matter. I mean, these experiences connect people with things that are really happening in the world. So whether it's conservation or just education and having people learn more about the plights of animals or the issues that are going on around the world, environmental conditions, and all those things that affect animals, and they really do affect our natural world. That's what we talk about here at SeaWorld, and so that's our unique point of difference. And so these attractions are just really wonderful ways to roll it all up together and let our guests appreciate and be educated by these experiences.
Safe to say that, you guys obviously spent a lot of time and money to put this together. It must be pretty important to the long-term viability of this park.
Yeah, the theme park business is centered a lot on capital development and investment. I mean, you need to continue to invest in your product because your guests demand that of you as a business. So the fortunate part for SeaWorld is that we can do that in a way that isn't just about a ride. It's not just a roller coaster in a parking lot. I mean, this is a custom designed roller coaster that is fantastic. Fantastic ride experience. You know, it's going to be the best coaster in Orlando when it opens to the public on June 10th. But it also provides a connection for those guests with animals in the natural world, which nobody else is doing that. And so we're very proud of that.
Especially since it's so cheap.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you tell me so passionate.
I heard about it. I never tried it. I heard it was like